that was the point of contention. So basically, we could change the budget, and he basically would have a much bigger budget from which to find the $250,000 savings.
The amounts that are expended towards medical, for instance, were actual of 1.47 in 2012. The budget of 1.6 estimated for 14 is within the trend of both the population and medical costs.
The food is trending up, I suspect.
Sorry?
Is the population in the detention center trending up?
Yes.
You have increased inmate capacity
Yes.
associated with the new facility.
Yeah, I guess the point I'm trying to make is I would prefer to see the inmate, rate go down because of the law enforcement going up.
I would agree. On the other hand, I think that part of it becomes, since the local facility is often more of a short-term versus long-term, if you put an individual in there, they don't want to go back, and therefore a short stay sometimes helps.
But that doesn't seem to be the case from what they've told me.
Mr. Robbins, what are all the departments under public safety?
The parts under public safety, under the sheriff's office, to make sure we understand there's a difference.
Yes.
Is 311, which is law enforcement. There is the special assignments area, which is Department 312. There is the Chesapeake City Patrol, which is Department 313. There is the Charleston Patrol, which is 314. There's the Port Positive Patrol, which is 315. There is the Detention Center, which is 331. And there is the County Work Release, which is 333. And that is it.
Okay, so the gas, cost of gas, 350,000.
Yes.
Since he put in place the change in the vehicle policy.
I believe it predated 2012.
Yep,
And 2012 was 361,000.
so there was a decrease. Now, but you said 350,000 was actually 375.
It's roughly the same, except there's an estimate for changing gas prices.
So there's been really no change, you believe, in the gas consumption even after his policy change?
Yeah. Greg, correct me if I'm
As long
wrong.
as we're
No,
speaking in
yeah.
generalizations,
It
yeah.
went
Yeah.
dramatically for 6
Yeah,
months.
it's lost in the rounding of the cost of gasoline. I mean, if you go to the pump and we don't pay certain parts of the tax, but the change of gas prices is the biggest factor on this, along with good vehicle maintenance.
All right, I'm gonna amend my own motion, and I'm gonna reduce it to 125,000, but it goes across, departments 311, 312, and 333. For 125,000. I'm sorry?
He changed
I
it.
did, I just amended it to 125. To 125 reduction in law enforcement, corrections, and, community. What is it?
County work release is
Yes.
333.
Yes.
So does he have to give a specific example, or
Yeah.
a specific amount of where it's gonna be reduced and what?
If council doesn't, because council is going to be passing the department budgets, what we've done also is the breadth of control of the sheriff's office is what we're interpreting part of the charter where it talks about the department. Like Public Works may have multiple divisions, but we construe that as one department. The sheriff's office we construe as the exact same way. So what we will do is put in there what might be considered a budget reserve, a budget reduction account, where we would put the amount in there, and then, so that it can pass tonight. And then we would review with the sheriff where the reduction should occur.
So-
The intent is to try and do it as rationally as possible.
Okay, and the deputy, I think, is about 50,000 with insurance, with all of the benefits and whatnot?
In the first year, because of the factor that we're not gonna be hiring them as of July 1, the total impact of the 5, I think, was under 100,000.
Well, I just want an amount, how much, is one deputy, when they're first hired, the cost, the total cost?
I don't have that, but we can get it to you.
Rounded,
They can
you have
change
a
the
rounded?
department.
It was on, I believe the information that we provided in an email at an earlier date.
Yeah, we provided that information to
Yeah.
Mr. Massey directly, assuming some attrition. I don't recall the number.
Here we are. As of May 14th, what we said was excluding the vehicle, the 5 officers, would be 77,000. And what we're speaking of is the estimated time of the officer on duty in fiscal 14.
Right, and I'm keep
If it's
asking-
without, if we assumed they were hired all on July 1, the total would be approximately 262,000.
That's what I thought, it is about 50,000 each, so, that would be about 2 officers, 125, a bit more. So I stand by what I said, and that's just me personally, I would encourage, this motion passes, that sheriff come in with a plan that he can sell me on, and I would support those 2 additional officers. And this is coming from the deputies I've spoken with, drug task force, that, you know, they said, we do need more officers, but what guarantee did they have it's gonna go there, or even, Mayor saying, the street crime patrol, there needs to be some sort of plan for him to get the community together, to, you know, get something to where there's some, cooperation, throughout the county.
There's been a motion and a second to reduce the public safety budget within, category 311, 312, and 333 by $125,000. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
That was unanimous?
4, 5,
Okay, the motion passes unanimously. All right, I have one last, or at least one more motion. Mr. Captain, close your ears, please. I'd like to offer a motion to reduce the public school budget by $250,000. For the same reasons that I explained. Is there a second? Okay, the motion is gonna fail for lack of a second.
oh, it's not a second. I'll wait.
Okay. The motion was to reduce the public school budget by $250,000. There's a second for discussion purposes. I offer the same thing because I'm concerned about the rapid increase in expansion of the increases. I really believe in public education. I believe that it's a big investment that we should make. I think that, I don't support maintenance of effort, and I appreciate the fact that the county executive, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, provided $3.7 million over and above prior year.
Right.
I think that, I know that it'll hurt a little bit, and I know, I won't have any friends left in public schools, but I think that, the improvement in our funding is good, and I think it's still good at the 3.5 range. So I would, recommend that we, take 250 out of the public school budget. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, if you were to basically take the 250, where would you take the 250?
Same thing applies. I am not an educator. I am not an educator. I don't want to tell them how to do it. I don't want to tell them where their priorities are, where they can cut. I don't want to tell them that they're doing a bad job, because I think they're doing a great job. I choice of where they feel that it's least productive. I certainly hope that they would not cut salaries or positions for teachers. I hope that they find something that is less important.
Would it be appropriate to ask if, Mr. Capper could identify an issue where $250,000 could be under the budget?
If the council wants to hear from Mr. Capper, I'll be happy to hear from him.
Would you be prepared to basically speak to us, Mr. Capper?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, I'd love to have you step forward.
Basically, we would not cut our budget. It would have to come from fund balance. Currently, we're projecting, we have 15 million in fund balance. We're projecting to utilize 2 million this year. So that leaves us 13 million. We need a reserve of 9 million as our 5%. So that leaves us 4 million available. We currently have 1.7 million projected to utilize next year. The additional would you say how much?
250,000.
So that will put us at about 2 million. So that'll leave us 2 million available for future years. So we'll be starting 2015 with a $2 million deficit. We will not be cutting our budget any more than we proposed.
Does anyone else have any questions of Mr. Capper?
As, I shared before.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Capper?
No. As I shared before, my concern is that, also that the, fund maintenance of effort next year will reflect the additional 3 million that we would be funding. So that's where we would start just for maintenance of effort. And the reality is that their school population is going down. And, you know, we're all being hit with additional mandates. I mean, that's what the county executive had said. I probably will support this motion because, you know, 250,000 is less than what was proposed initially.
A no vote will support the default, which is the executive's proposed funding.
This might be unrelated, but I personally feel it is related. The average cost for a public school student, I think, is probably $10,800. Correct me if I'm right or wrong.
Close.
We spend approximately $38,000 for every detainee in the detention center. I would much rather err to the side of the students than err to the side of the detainees. These students basically have a bright future. The detainees have shown us exactly what they want to do and what it costs for us to take care of them. I think every dollar we might spend in the school board, provided these people properly use it, and I trust that they do, is a dollar invested in our future as opposed to basically maintaining a bunch of derelicts.
And I would propose that throwing money at the situation isn't always I just spoke with the design about the options that they still have over at this, the Bayview site. And they have 66 acres over there. There's
Okay, wait,
What are we talking
we're
about?
talking about this. We're talking about $250,000 reduction in the budget.
Wait, let me finish.
I
Let me
don't-
finish.
We don't want to hear about the cell.
Well, you know what, I was elected, you were elected, okay, and I wanted to share a
You
philosophy.
can bring the cell up in your personal
I
comments.
wanted to share a philosophy that sometimes we do have to get down to the weeds, that there might be some other solutions that we can work with the school on. And there are other options rather than all or nothing, the cell phone. And funding $4 million, or I can't even remember all the amounts that we're gonna go towards that, or just addressing 150 person waiting list, while there's a population of 16,000, and they even said that their dropout rate was related to the School of Technology, which is not true.
What are we talking about?
Mike, do you have any comments? Okay. There's been a motion to reduce the public school budget by $250,000. All those in favor of the motion, please signal by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no.
No.
Okay, the motion passes 3-2. Are there any other motions from any council member regarding the budget? Okay.
Could I just clarify something? When you amended, you approved of, amendment 4, you amended it, and, I believe it was sponsored by the council president. We did not get a second.
Which one are you talking about?
The facilities fee.
The financing?
Yes, the financing, so that it was adjustable. So it's amendment 4 as amended, which was Dr. McCarthy's amendment. I just wanted to clarify that it was the council president who.
No, it was the administration and the staff that
Okay.
proposed it. They proposed it.
Okay.
I introduced it from there. I'm introducing it for the council.
Okay. All right.
And we amended it.
All right, Dr. McCarthy, second. Is that right?
I made the amendment to the amendment.
Yes. Okay.
Can't remember the second.
All right. I just want to clarify.
Second.
Okay.
Okay.
It seems simple.
Is there any other questions about tonight's meeting? Any other questions about any of the budget resolutions or legislation?
Should we change our minds? Could we make this?
Yes,
vote
we
next-
can, but it would be very difficult because the whole budget, we're gonna have to go back based on the motions that we just made and do a whole bunch of calculations. So really, we should have them early. Even Jim needs to have them to give to the staff so that they can do their budgeting. Based on everything that we do makes a difference in the budget. So they have to put it into the formula and kick it back out and the pros and the cost and the expenses. So I would prefer, if anybody has any motions that they don't want to put on the table this minute, to do it right at lunchtime or shortly after, rather than at the last minute at the meeting. If you have proposals, give it to the staff or Jim or myself before the meeting so that we can give a heads up to the finance department. We have to balance the budget, and everything that we do affects the budget. Okay. Moving on, the Port Deposit wants to become a Maryland Certified Sustainable Community, and I've offered up a letter of support, a draft copy of the letter in your packet. Does anyone have any objections to endorsing the efforts of the town to become a sustainable community?
One other question, what impact would that have on the county?
I don't think it'll have any impact whatsoever, no cost to the county.
But it
As a matter of fact, it would allow the town of Port Deposit to receive grants and other assistance.
Could you tell me why it's required that we send in a letter of support?
It's not required, it would only help, it's not required at all, this is not mandatory. It only helps the town with their grant applications and their requests from the state.
And this was a offshoot of that, community meeting they had for input and
Yes,
direction.
yes. That's right.
I think that was a very good exercise, and I would support this.
Okay, is there any objection to supporting this? Okay, Mr. Massey, then would you finalize the letter and I'll sign it? Get everyone to sign it unless anyone has an objection. Mr. Massey, do you have anything to report to the council?
Just a reminder that Thursday night, May 23rd, is the volunteer recognition event in the Rising Sun Country Club, I believe. May 30th is our Bay Cabinet meeting. We're to be at Donaldson Brown at 9:30. The bus will take you all to Conolego Dam and then come back to Donaldson Brown for discussion with the Bay Cabinet. June 4th, we will have the Board of Health at 1:30, and then we have scheduled at 2:30, George Rimhall, the ham radio operator, to make a presentation for the council.
On the board,
Yes.
that's the ribbon cutting too at the steps. Yeah, and the landfill,
At what time?
2:30.
want me to try to change?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The Bay Cabinet meeting, is that open to the public at the Dun
Yes.
and Brown?
Yes.
Do we wanna put that out there, and, I'm wondering if we want, I think it was encouraged at our Chesapeake Coalition meeting to get the media there, maybe an invite, Baltimore Sun.
Very good. And then the June 18th tour of the Maryland Port Authority will be 11 to, we believe, 3. So that's, we're arranging for a bus to be able to take the council members and the administration to their headquarters, and there'll be a tour of the terminals and then of the harbor. And then I wanted to let you know, yesterday I received a resignation from Jim Kraus on the redistricting commission. He's taking that position on the election office, and so he cannot be a member of the redistricting commission.
So the Democrat Club would have to
No,
submit
the Central
a.
Committee. The Central
Yeah,
Committee.
yes.
Right. We'll need to send a letter to the Democratic Central Committee requesting them to make a reappointment for Jim Krause's position.
That's all.
Okay, Councilwoman Bowlesby, do you have any?
Yeah, I have a few things. The first thing is that on Tuesday, May 28th, we received an invitation to go to the Business and Education Partnership Advisory Council's recognition breakfast from 8 to 10. If we don't have any, I was wondering, I mean, we're not gonna be able to go to that if we have a work session. That's a Tuesday.
Well, I know what you're saying, there's a BPAC, right?
BPAC, right?
Okay. The question is, do we, the council, want to reschedule our meeting to a little later, postpone it for an hour or so?
I would gladly do that.
How is our workload? next
We
week?
have nothing scheduled, that's the 5th Tuesday of the month.
Right, we're very light.
Okay.
I think that would be fine, and there's been, the drug court has been meeting on Tuesdays where I couldn't attend. I wanted to observe it, so, I would like the flexibility to do the same on another Tuesday.
Okay. All right, the BPAC starts at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Could we start our meeting at 10?
It's over at 10. BPAC is.
Yeah.
It's from 8 to 10.
Where does it take place?
At the technology, school of technology.
Northeast. So we'd say 10:30 here then?
10:30,
Or we just leave early?
okay.
Is it 10 or 10:30? Somebody pick it.
I'd like 10:30. I'd like to be able to,
Okay. Then we'll schedule our council meeting for 10:30 on the 28th.
if
I
we
would
feel.
suggest 11 o'clock. You can't ever get there at 10.
No,
You wanna do 11?
10:30.
10:30.
I vote for 11.
I'm
You
personally
wanna have
gonna
a
go. I don't care, I don't care. I would just like to go to it. I think that BPAC does a tremendous amount for this community, and I think that council should
Okay,
recognize their
we
efforts.
agree. We agree. Is it 10:30 or 11? I just don't wanna waste a lot of time. I want, if we have, I don't think it's gonna go to the full.
10:30 or 11, Joyce?
I'll say 10:30, because we can,
Diane?
it won't go to 10, I don't think
Are you
either,
okay with 10:30?
as long as we don't chat a lot afterward.
Right. Mike, do you have any comments? 10:30.
Make it happen.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yes, I do. On Wednesday, this past Wednesday, I visited Rock Springs. I was very impressed with the facility. I thought that the gentlemen that took us on the tour were extremely knowledgeable and very helpful in answering our questions, and I thought it was really good. On Thursday at noon, I went to the Board of Realtors luncheon with President Hodge, and we talked a little bit about where council is and where we think it's going. And that's about it. On this coming Thursday, while everybody's at the volunteer recognition luncheon, or dinner, I will be at Elton High School. I was pleased to find out that the council gives scholarships to high school seniors, and I will be presenting one to a senior at Elton High School that evening. The other thing I wanted to do was just take a minute to address and thank the Citizens Advisory Committee for their help, or for their participation. This was the first year that I had insight into that particular committee. I think it's very difficult for 5 laymen, and that's what they are, they're laymen, to give us specific recommendations on the budget. Many of the things that they recommended are mandated by law, so we couldn't do anything about it. So I think it's really important that we sit down with the I know we were rushed this year, but next year when we have an advisory committee, I'd like to spend an afternoon with them talking about various aspects of the budget and what they can and cannot consider, because I would have loved to have approved some of the things that they recommended, but I didn't feel that they were viable. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Brunel?
Well, I just wanted to point out that the Citizens Budget Advisory Committee, for, 2 of the members, this was their 3rd year, and, 1 of the members was Bill Field, their treasurer. And they were, so they're not just linked, they've had experience in going through this process, and they did express that they were very frustrated in not getting the information that they were requesting. I wanted to share that I went also on the Rock Springs tour, and on Wednesday, and I am concerned about the water. I think we should have a definitive answer on where the water's coming from for this full-time operation portion. So that's going to be an issue for me. On Saturday, I attended the open house at Pierce Creek, and I believe it was the Maryland Port Authority, the Army Corps of Engineers, the Maryland Department of the Environment, the Health Department. There was various booths you could go into, and it was nice to speak with representatives. And there's, his name escapes me right now, but he's with the Maryland Port Authority, and he was sharing how they had to educate the Army Corps of Engineers that they can't, it's not the best way to do business as they've been previously, that it's important to get buy-in from the public and to be transparent and to share the information and to listen to the public. And that always goes a lot further. On Sunday, I always enjoyed the Eagle Scout events, and this time 3 Eagle Scouts were being recognized. Matthias Michael Andrulowitz, Stephen Edward Wood, and Lucas John Gardner. And they had 3 really nice projects, and they were 3 friends. I think the Eagle Scout program is something that is a great experience for men or boys to go through and be exposed to things that they might not necessarily have the opportunity to enjoy. So I know my son did well in that too. As I said, there were quite a few emails I received on the resolution on the Maryland Forest Industry Board supporting the feasibility study, that there was a concern that the public would have an opportunity to speak, share their concerns, and I guess at this point that's all I have right now.
Thank you. Mr. Dunn?
No.
Mr. McCarthy?
I also attended Rock Spring facility, which is owned by Old Dominion Electrical Cooperative. It's a very impressive plant, and I think that we should move forward with our deal with them.
Thank you. Budget Advisory Committee, I think that we should put that on our agenda for discussions in the future on when, who, how, and what their future is. I do appreciate their time that they served. I think that their efforts were not in vain, and I think that what they contributed was good. I don't agree with some of their recommendations, that's true, but I do believe that it had an impact on us in general, that I think it's worthy of having them learn more, because I think the more educated you are about our budget, the more intelligent decisions you can make. So I feel that there was an education process going on there, and I know as a commissioner, it takes a while to get a better feel for what's going on within the budget. It's a complex, large budget. It takes a lot of effort to fully comprehend. I have no other further comments. We're not going to have a closed session. Is there any other business that we want to bring up?
We neglected to recognize that we were at the Cecil College graduation, which was a lovely ceremony on Sunday. I wanted to mention that to get it on the record. I apologize. That's it.
All right, may I have a motion to adjourn? Okay.